Many startups burn thousands of dollars on LinkedIn ads and get absolutely nothing back. But we took the complete opposite approach at my company Fibbler, and it got us to over 350 customers in just 15 months, spending only 5 to 10k per month on LinkedIn ads. And today I'm breaking down the exact playbook we used, covering all the strategies, creatives and campaigns so you can steal them for your own business. Let's get into it. So this is our LinkedIn ads playbook. We're currently spending about 5 to 10k per month, and now we're obviously a smaller company, but I could easily scale this up to 50k per month and keep the exact same structure. I'm a big believer that you should keep things very simple and focus on standing out with your creative. Yes, there are certain technical things that are important when running LinkedIn ads, but I still think the creative is the most important part that is often forgotten because that's how we stand out. We at Fibbler, we run two different layers of targeting. We have cold campaigns, that is people that most likely haven't heard about us before, and then we have retargeting. So that's people who have heard about us before. It's usually website visitors, people who have engaged with us from the cold layer, and company page visitors. But the main portion of our budget goes into the cold layer. We're trying to create awareness for our brand. This can kind of depend on how mature your market are and how your brand is currently standing, but I'd say for most companies the majority of spend should go to cold and to reach as many people as possible. And in cold the frequency should be very low because you want to be seen by new people. You want to reach as many people and companies as possible, but when it comes to retargeting, my purpose is to really remind people all the time, be in front of them a lot and stay top of mind. And when we talk about audience penetration, which is a super important metric that you can find in the LinkedIn Ads Campaign Manager, we always want to get it as high as we can. But it is basically impossible to get to 100% since not everyone in your target group will log into LinkedIn. But in retargeting, it can get pretty high because we can reach most of the people since it's a smaller group. But in cold, typically around 20 to 50% is good, dependent on your budget and your audience size. We're running 3 different formats per layer. And the first one is text ads. These are the small single ads on the right side of LinkedIn. There are small little things that are basically free to run, but you get your logo out there and you get your message out there. And it's a must have because it's free. Then it's thought leader ad. We run it with an engagement objective and we see click-through rates of about 10 to 15%, which is not typical for most businesses, I should say. But as we are targeting marketeers who are very engaged on LinkedIn, 10 to 15% is what we get as a standard. And then we run image ads. It could be video ads as well, but I think image ads are much easier to create. I want to see around 1% or above in click-through rate with this. And the only thing that changes between cold and retargeting is how much we talk about the product. In cold, it's all about making people remember us in certain situations, and in retargeting, I'm actually tying that to our solution and what we solve. Now, let me talk a little bit about targeting and bidding. If you have a very large audience that you can sell to, I recommend just running with LinkedIn's own native targeting. No, it will not be perfect, but it works quite well. LinkedIn has something called super titles, which mean that certain titles like head of marketing will include hundreds or maybe thousands sometimes different job titles. You might want to exclude some of these very specific and large super titles, but otherwise the general native targeting is what I use and it works very well. But if your targeting is more narrow, if you have a narrow audience and you need something very specific, let's say that you can only sell to companies using a specific ERP or whatever, then use a third-party tool to create that audience and upload it to LinkedIn. Now, in terms of bidding, I recommend never using LinkedIn's automatic bidding system because they obviously want you to spend more money on LinkedIn. Manual bidding is where you set the bids that you want in this real-time auction, and it's generally recommended to set somewhere around 2/3 of the recommended bid. Typically always gives you the same results at a lower. And before I continue, if you want to learn more about how you can make LinkedIn ads a profitable channel for your business, then make sure to subscribe to my channel as I'm sharing all of my best strategies here completely free. How do you run thought leader ads the right way? Thought leader ads have been the key to our success, and it's the most underused format on LinkedIn, and it's by far the most powerful. Here's how it works. You take your organic post that is already performing well, and then you sponsor them to people outside of your network. So they look exactly like a regular LinkedIn post, but the only difference is a tiny promote by tag beneath your name. And these are really engaging if you get it right. The hard thing though is getting it right. They work best when you are the persona you're selling to. So I'm a marketeer and I'm selling to marketeers. When I share posts about LinkedIn ads, they trust me because I'm one of them. If a CEO with no marketing experience tried to do the same thing, it wouldn't work as well, right? And this is the struggle I've had, and I know other people have as well at other companies, where as an example, we're selling to the CFO as an example, and then we're putting our CEO out there as the trusted voice. But since he's not really a trusted voice in the CFO space, it's really tricky to get the engagement right. The content also needs to be repeatable. You need to talk about the same things over and over again. Don't think that people will be oversaturated with your post. They will forget. So I'm posting every weekday on LinkedIn. On a monthly basis, I take my 2 or 3 of my best organic posts and I sponsor them up as thought leader ads to people outside of my network. And I have a rule of thumb, and this is of course different dependent on you and your network, but if a post gets 100+ likes for me, I will always use it as a thought leader ad. And I should probably update this threshold because the algorithms is not the best right now. But if they don't hit that number, I don't sponsor them, because if they don't work organically with the marketeers I have in my network, I know they will not work as paid ads either. And one important thing before using these thought leader ads is that before sponsoring them, you should always edit the posts and add some sort of call to action. I do it typically towards the end of the post, and I put in a PS, and this is what we do, and this is where the link where you can find out more, because then we can track whoever clicks on that link. Let me show you our best performing thought leader ads. In the cold layer, they are about topics related to our product, but they're not about our product, and that's a very important distinction. In one example, I'm talking about my 2025 marketing tech stack on a low budget. It's obviously a hook that draws people in that I want to sell to. I'm obviously mentioning Fibbler and our product in there slightly, but that's about it. I'm not pushing for it. And in another one, I'm talking about growing our company. It has nothing to do with the product either, and I think this is extremely important in cold. We're trying to create awareness here, but not necessarily for the product yet. And then in retargeting, yes, now you can introduce the product as they already know about us, and hopefully they've seen us a bunch of times, so now we can actually talk about what we do. You can see that these posts and ads are very raw, so they feel like super organic posts, and that is also what's really important. And here is a hack that I think is the biggest opportunity right now on LinkedIn ads. Because the issue with thought leader ads is that they don't get your company brand out. They create awareness for you as a person, which is great, but you're trying to grow a company as well. And at some point, you have to stop being the face of the brand and let the company come in. And this is my way of finding the middle ground to that. We have this pink lion you might have seen that I put in the images of my posts, which builds brand recognition. Now, there are obviously plenty of ways you could do this. You can brand your post with your logo, with your colors, etc. And I think this is an awesome hack to find the middle ground between personal and branded. How do you then run image ads the right way? Image ads to me are the second most powerful format for us. Everyone loves memes, right? So we created this concept that we call meme branded ads. And memes are great because they create engagement, but memes are not great because they don't put your brand in front of the buyers. So meme branded ads are a way to get our brand into a meme and create a situation where buyers understand and feel something. So obviously we talk a lot about attribution, so here we're poking fun of last touch attribution, and we have some fun with that. We're trying to create a situation that people can remember and that they have been experiencing on their own. And then obviously I repeat things constantly. I might change a creative sometimes, but I try to, for as long as possible, to not change it. I want people to remember this creative. I want them to tell me that they see this pink lion all over the place, and that's my ambition. And obviously I want to make people feel something. Our best performing image ads follow the same pattern. They're all meme based and we have some fun with them. When you see the ad, you instantly feel the situation this pink lion is in. The hook is bold and we're quite aggressive with our messaging. And then we use kind of reverse psychology in a way in the CTA, because we tell people not to click, which actually makes them want to click, right? And this has worked great for us. And I really recommend trying to brand memes with your own brand. And in terms of metrics, it's funny. I run a metrics company for LinkedIn ads, but I follow very few metrics myself. I obsess only about engagement. So if we target the right people and we engage well with our audience, revenue will follow. Not every CEO I've worked for has felt the same way, but if we don't engage our audience, revenue almost definitely won't follow. For image ad, I simply look at click-through rate. It's a great simple metric that tells if your ads are working or not. I want to see above 0.8% for cold and above 1% in retargeting. For thought leader ads, we look at landing page clicks specifically, and here's why. The regular click-through rate includes anyone who clicks see more, likes the post, comments, and so on. But since we added this CTA before with a link, we can track landing page clicks. And I want to see about 10% of all of the clicks being landing page clicks. And these are the things I obsess about day to day. And I'm very fast at killing campaigns that aren't working after 2 to 3 days. I've never seen a campaign fail initially initially and then suddenly pick up. Never. So I'm ruthless with underperforming campaigns. Now, I don't have an exec team to convince anymore, but if you do, you need to tie campaigns to real numbers. You need to look at several lagging and leading indicators, and there's no one metric that tells the full story. First, we have direct signups, of course, though I'm very impressed if you get a lot of them from LinkedIn. That is more of an awareness channel. Second, we have how did you hear about us fields in your form, so asking people how they heard about you. And third, we have influence pipeline and how much you're touching different opportunities. And then finally we have customer journeys, where you can actually see the journey month over month over month. And all of these combined are great for talking to the executive team. And if you want help tracking all of this automatically and matching data between LinkedIn ads and your CRM, you should check out Fibbler. You can just click the first link in the description and start using it for free. Now, additionally to this framework, there are formats I think are great, but I'm not running right now. Conversation ads are great in combination with thought leader ads because they let you send messages to people's inbox. So it's the same face as people already know through thought leader ads, but you can get it into people's inbox. But they're more expensive to reach people, so that's why I'm not running them right now. Video ads are also fantastic, especially for building retargeting audience, because you can create audience from people who watch 25, 50 or 70% of your videos, but they're really hard to do well, and obviously I'm not a good designer, but I'm even worse at motion design, so I've opted out for now for video and do image instead. So that's how we got to 350 plus customers in 15 months using LinkedIn ads. Now, if you want to see which companies are actually viewing your LinkedIn ads and tie that activity to pipeline in your CRM, try Fibbler free for 30 days, no credit card required. And the link is in the description for that. And if you want deep, in-depth guides on how to run LinkedIn thought leader ads, then watch this video next.